thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to do this short and sweet webinar that's really designed as an informational session on our annual event called the FiLL, which we are now opening up to school owners and leaders, which we are super excited about. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because we've got some amazing guests that are joining us. But first of all, Marie, can you see my screen okay? Just want to make sure we're good. Okay, I see a thumbs up, so that's good. Let's see. Okay, perfect. So welcome to all of those of you that are school owners, leaders, and managers. And if you haven't heard of the FiLL is our annual conference that we do here at Qnity. And for many of you guys, you know Qnity pretty strictly on the school side of things. You also might have heard a little bit about us on the Qnity Institute, and then you may or may not know about the work that we do in the business sector. And so before we dive into this, I like to just give you a brief overview of how we serve the beauty and wellness sector. So of course, for all of you guys on the Qnity for Schools side, we are in about 160 campuses now. We had over 30,000 future beauty and wellness professionals last year alone go through our Money EDU curriculum, which is our financial literacy curriculum for future cosmetologists, estheticians, nail technicians, barbers, massage therapists, anyone and everyone who's pursuing their craft in the beauty and wellness sector. So that's really one division. We also do data and research, which is on the Qnity Institute side of things. And then the division you may or may not be the most familiar with is really our business side. And that's really where we serve businesses of all sizes to help them become more scalable, sustainable businesses. And so that's really where the FiLL lives. And the FiLL is our annual conference that we've now done for 3 years. And this year's theme is LEAP. Last year, for the first time, we opened up this conference to school owner, leaders, and managers, and really director level individuals of schools. And it was so amazing. And we got such amazing feedback. And we're excited to continue to open it up to our school community this year as well. And this year's theme is LEAP, which my guest is going to be talking a little bit more about the theme around it, but I want to just go quickly through the agenda. I wanted to just do a quick welcome and say thanks to all of you for being here, and thank you all for being very valuable. I think most of you guys on here are Money EDU and Qnity for Schools users, so thank you so much for bringing this curriculum to your students. And we hope to welcome you into our community and have you join the FiLL. And right after I finish speaking and just give you a little bit more context on the event, I'm going to turn it over to our CEO, Tom. And Tom will be sharing a little bit more about the FiLL, about the vision behind this event. He'll actually be going through the agenda and highlighting some of our amazing speakers that are going to be at this event. And then we have another amazing speaker, our dear partners at Lightheart Sanders, who's an amazing CPA firm. Some of you may or may not work with them. And they are doing a revolutionary, I think it's revolutionary segment at the FiLL this year that's very specifically directed for school owners and leaders. And this is content that nobody has seen before. And so he's going to give you a little bit of a teaser of it today. And so really, the essence of this event is really designed to help business owners and leaders fill the various different gaps in their business. So it's really a time for leaders to kind of step away from the day-to-day operations and really focus on big picture and filling the gaps in their business, as well as connecting with other leaders across various domains in the beauty industry. So you'll be connected with other school owners and directors. You'll be connected with top salon, spa, and med spa owners from all across North America, and people from beauty brands of all over. So it's a great space to really build your community as well. And, you know, I'm just constantly reminded, I was just in DC last week. I think some of you who are on the call were with me as well. And the amount of things that school owners and directors and leaders have on their plates every single day, and the constant barrage of new things, you know, legislative policies, constant updates, and really the things that you guys have to do to operate, it's a lot. And so we're really excited to use this event for you as a place for you to refill your own cup and for you to refill your own buckets. And so hopefully leave with some very actionable ideas and tools that you can implement right away in your business. And so with that being said, I am going to turn it over to our CEO, Tom. Tom is really the brains behind the creativity of the curriculum that you see in the Money EDU curriculum. You may not see him a lot on webinars, and I don't know if all of you have met, but super happy to have you join us, Tom, and would love for you to go through a little bit about a very exciting partnership that we have to announce. And so welcome. And I guess I just love to ask from your standpoint, why are you excited about the FiLL?
Well, greetings, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. Definitely see some familiar names and participants, and I'm just dying to reach out to each of you individually. But yeah, thanks, Erin. You know, why do conferences? I mean, why go to a conference? Why to create a conference? And there's certainly a lot of other things that we can do in life. There's other things that we can do at Qnity, and there's other things that you can do. But there's just something about the power of connection that happens in a conference. And there's a craving for this human connection. And there's quite a bit of data out there about the impact of conferences in several different ways. And I'm going to give you a couple of them. 78% report greater optimism after a conference. Probably because they're with their peers and they have an opportunity to reframe their lens. And 71% feel more connected after a conference. And certainly those are good things to keep in mind. I'm super excited about the FiLL, which the name FiLL goes back probably 15 years. You know, I've been in the beauty industry space for maybe too long to suggest on this phone call, but it's been over 30 years. And what we were really looking for is to create a very unique format of a conference that would merge communities that don't always get a chance to merge together. For example, the community of salon and spa owners and leaders, as well as the community of school owners and leaders. And we think that we've cracked the code, and I think this is the year to move from dabbling a little bit with schools being part of this conference, which initially was made up primarily of salons and spas. It tends to be some of the more successful salons and spas. We work with very growth-minded businesses, and leading up to this year, we've infused more content that are very specific for schools. I'm super excited about the conference because this year in particular, we've curated a very unique partnership with the University of Texas, Austin. And in particular, several different parts of the university. And I'll say why that really matters in just a little bit here. But more specifically, the University of Texas, Austin, has McCombs School of Business, which is one of the top 20 business schools in the world. Their professors are ranked number one. And then there's also another department within the University of Texas, Austin, called Human Dimensions Organization, which is more the people side. The very first program in the country for a major university to study people. What a concept, huh? So we have pulled together some of their top professors from these two areas of the university, McCombs School of Business, as well as the Human Dimensions. And we are pleased to be with 4 different elite professors. They're very experienced in executive education. So they're used to not only the academic world, but making it relevant to all of us that are out in the business world. And so we also are going to feature several of their elite graduates that are part of the Austin, Texas community, including a woman by the name of Gay Gaddis, who has an unbelievable story. She grew the largest female-owned ad agency in the United States before she sold it. And she's very committed to helping and empowering the next generation. And so she's going to be one of our keynotes. She's an example. We also have someone by the name of Tamara Lewis, who is a complete dynamo. She is in charge of all the Accenture office here in Austin, Texas, as well as the entire South region. And she's also going to be part of this conference for us, plus several other professors. Now, why does that matter? Well, some of the topics that they're going to address are ones that I think are relevant to all of us. Communication, resiliency, connection, creativity, understanding motivations, So all of these things are very pertinent to those in the school community. And, you know, it's a tough world out there, and there's certain things that are not under our control. What is under our control is the what we feed into our system in knowledge and relationships, et cetera. And this is an opportunity to get world-class insights in an interactive format that's part of this conference. Now, having said that, this is not a complete academic type approach to the conference. We've infused these segments that are in collaboration with the University of Texas with Qnity's own signature simple and visual approach. Many of them really relates to some of our core tools that our customer base loves, which most of our schools have never experienced. And we've just been dying to introduce some of the core Qnity tools that will help schools in the area of engagement, execution, leadership, and profitability. The agenda has a experience element to it because, as Erin said, the idea, the name suggests FiLL. It is about getting away and filling your bucket, but it's also about filling the gaps in your business, specifically in many areas already mentioned: leadership, engagement, profitability, and execution. All right. So the agenda starts out on a Sunday. There is some optional excursions that will be happening in the Austin area, a bunch of fun stuff for those that can get in early Sunday morning or Saturday. They're optional. And they have a ton of variety of different things that are fun, getting outdoors, indoors. There's, and the website will have more about what the excursions are. And then on Sunday night, from 5:30 to 7 o'clock, there is an evening event called the Celebration of Light Bulb Moments. And this is our third year for this. And that is where we really have more of a nonprofit type focus, because 100% of the proceeds that we receive that night from ticket sales will go to nonprofits, including nonprofits that support Beauty Changes Lives, which is about making beauty a first choice career. That night is a ton of fun. It's a theme of a black and white night. It's not formal wear, but wear black and or white. We're also going to encourage black and white photography. We've got some awards, and it's just a really great, fun kickoff. Day two is really split into two halves. The morning is really, we're all together. We've got some speakers. We have some data segments. We have things that are really relevant to everybody as we kick our day off.
Can I jump in as far as the data segment? I know many of our schools have been very interested in the work that we've done on compensation studies through the Qnity Institute. Can you talk a little bit more about what we're covering in that data section?
Yeah, sure. So the data segment will be our most up-to-date data projects as of that date. And usually we align things so we have something new to release. We will be talking about on that day a study that we're immersed in right now that's super exciting. It's an extension of our compensation study work, but it's with the big chains. We're deep into it right now. And we will have our initial set of findings in early April. So by attending the conference, you'll actually be amongst the first ones that will get data from a new compensation study that has 2023 data. And it is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, I can't give you a total, but at least 5 times the sample size as previous studies. So especially for school owners, this is super relevant and very timely.
Important. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes, that will be on the first segment, and Lightheart Sanders, who you're going to get to hear from Jared a little bit, is helping to co-sponsor that segment on the Monday morning. So the afternoon of Monday is broken up with some workshops. You'll get to choose different workshops that will be a variety of topics. Each workshop will run twice on the first day. And then in the evening, we come back together for a quick general session, and then everybody has a ton of fun on day 2 or the evening, because as Michael Shea just put in the chat, do not miss Dine and Discover. We know a lot of the conversation happens over dinner or at the bar, so why not organize dinner and bar? And so we do, and this is a signature format of what we do, is we create reservations throughout the city, and we have people sign up to dine with people that they want to dine with. And it's just a fun, organized way for people to get out and experience a great meal with others. And everybody's on their own dime for dinner, but we do all the organizing.
Tom, can I jump in for the workshop sessions? Can you talk a little bit about the content around those workshops and really the themes and the gaps that we really focus on and what they can expect to learn there?
Yeah, we have the Qnity driven workshops will focus on execution, featuring our execution system, which people love. And it's a simple and visual way. We call it the gritty art of getting things done. And it's, you know, the thing you're looking at there is how to eliminate the gap between all the things you want to get done in a year versus how you actually get them done, and this system teaches you how to do it. Secondly, we'll have a segment that is on profitability, and we have 2 segments for that. One is more on best practices as it relates to driving profitability and creating something called a profit improvement plan. And then also Jared Sanders, who we're going to hear from in a little bit, has a very special segment that relates with profitability for schools. So, you know, those would be the Qnity workshops. And then the other workshops that are infused through our partnership with the University of Texas deals with resiliency, communication, connection, creativity, and understanding motivations, with case studies, all very experiential.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
Day 2, we kind of do the same thing in reverse. We actually have the breakouts. We have a short general session in the morning, then we move right back out into breakouts, and move into our day 2 offerings. So there's 2 segments that are, you get to select what breakouts that you want to go in. We come to get back together for lunch. And then what we do is we have a general session on Tuesday afternoon, and we end at 3 o'clock so everybody can get home and in their bed that evening. For those of you that are arranging travel, certainly ideally it'll be sometime after 5 p.m. on day 3, which day 3 on here is really day 2 of the conference. However, if you're in a travel bind, we understand that. So if typically if people have to leave at like 2 o'clock or something, they can have the comfort and understanding that they experience the most important parts of the conference. I just, from my point of view on this, I took some notes as I was really, getting ready to talk to you guys about this. And we definitely attract growth-minded businesses and leaders. This is not for people that want the status quo. This conference is about growth-minded people that really want to learn and create a new reality for themselves. I think that leading with confidence and navigating change is something that's very important these days, and that will be an outcome. The getting away of the day-to-day grind, to me, is a big piece to this. And it's just back to the university partnership. I think that it gives our attendees an option. With schools, what we'll do is we'll help you kind of curate what your experience should look like as we get to know you a little bit, and we can make recommendations of what tracks to go, which sessions. But I probably have already exceeded my allotted time here, but I'm very excited about this. And the vision always from the beginning of creating the FiLL 3 years ago was to integrate it with our school audience. And we're there, and we'd love to have you attend.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tom. I am personally so excited for this event. And again, I love the balance, and we've wanted to do this at Qnity for a while. We had one conference that people still speak about as the best conference they went to. This was pre-COVID days where we aligned with another amazing university, and we really had the perfect blend of academia and, you know, the benefits of working with a major university, but also bringing in really the magic around the Qnity tools and experience that all of our Qnity community is really accustomed to. So I'm really, really excited that we've got this partnership, and super excited to hopefully see some of you there. But Tom, thank you so much for joining us. And now I get to introduce our next amazing speaker, who is going to be doing a very special breakout session. Our partners at Lightheart Sanders, which is an amazing CPA and accounting firm. We actually work with them for our companies as well. And Jared has collected some very fascinating research that I think school owners are going to be very excited to learn about. So Jared, tell us about the session that you're going to be doing, and also feel free to do expand on the intro to our school community here as well.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that the FiLL has quickly become one of my favorite conferences that we've attended within the school industry, but also just overall. It's been phenomenal, and we're excited to come back. But I'm really excited about the session. We're going to we've been forever working on a benchmarking study. It seems like ever since I joined the business 25 years ago, there's been a consistent request or discussion about how much should schools spend in different areas of their business, or really the real question is, what is everybody else spending on advertising or administrative and stuff like that? And that's kind of where the conversation's always ended, because within the industry, there's no consistency. And so the way that schools record their financial information varies so much that there's no really good way to gather that information and to compare it and to have it in a way that would allow you to really get some nuggets of truth about where your school stands. And part of that is just because there's no place where information is collected in a consistent manner. Even within Title IV, there's no set or required approach. It's really unique to schools and to the CPA firms putting together. And so what we decided to do is we decided to take our client base and see if there was a way that we could overcome these issues. And so we've been working with our clients for probably 8 or 9 years, collecting their data, looking at it, seeing what areas needed to be fixed or adjusted, what different areas we needed to get additional information that people maybe weren't tracking consistently across all of our schools. And we really came up with kind of an internal set of benchmarks that we used for our audits to say, hey, does this financial statement make sense? But it was never really anything that we felt like we could just bring to the industry to say, hey, these are good, reliable numbers, because there was still some inconsistency. But this year, we feel like we've been able to kind of iron all of those out. And this is the first year where I felt like we've been able to eliminate those issues and provide reliable information for the industry to use. And we're looking forward to revealing the information at our session in the FiLL. We're gonna look at this. The session's gonna be for owners and for those that deal with profit and loss statements and stuff like that are in charge of profitability for the school. The data is based on audited financial statements and has been adopted or adapted to allow for consistency through about 120 to 130 beauty and wellness schools that we either perform audits on or we do the accounting for. And so we've really been able to address a lot of the issues that have prevented information like this to be published and to put out and to really be used in an effective manner. And so we're going to cover what those numbers are. We're going to talk about some of the interesting consistencies that have come out with the most profitable schools within the study and some of the things that they're doing. And then we'll talk about how you can take some of the Qnity tools that we've been learning over the last few years as well, but how you can use those Qnity tools to actually help improve your financial results as a school.
Jared, thank you. And we were talking and prepping for this, but you talked about there's absolutely ways to dramatically increase profit in schools, and you've seen that with schools making, frankly, double-digit jumps, is what you've shared with me. Anything you want to highlight on some of the nuggets that they can learn that can actually show up in their own P&Ls?
Yeah, I mean, there is a pretty stark difference between the top schools and what the overall average is in terms of things. So I think it really kind of bleeds to the fact that a lot of schools, have never had an ability to really look at this type of information and be able to understand where they're at and where they could be. And also, really identifying the specific areas where they could improve. And so I think you see that in terms of when you look at the overall data, there's a lot of averages, and then there's some consistency, just awesomeness that's out there. And I think as schools kind of realize, okay, what areas do I need to focus on in terms of my P&L? It's always been composite score driven because we're all Title IV minded. And sometimes it's like, okay, as long as there's profit, as long as I'm hitting my composite score, that I feel like I'm doing pretty good. And what we're seeing is that there's still a pretty good area where if schools really knew and could focus in that area, that it could increase their profitability, which lightens the load on everything else that they're doing.
Mm, that's so amazing, Jared. Thanks for go ahead, Tom. You're on mute though.
Jared, I have to commend you, because doing a study like this is not easy. Many years ago, we did a profit study with multi-location salons, and it's a very difficult project. And what I love about what you're doing is that you're using audited numbers. We did a profit study with multi-location salons. We took their P&Ls, and we had spent a lot of time sanitizing them. So I think that the accuracy of your numbers, because the audit is really the X factor here, it gives us a lot of confidence in these numbers. And I know you've been working. The first time I met you, Jared, you showed up on my Light Bulb Moments podcast. I said, who is this guy? He's got great insights. He's pepping in, he's chatting, and I got to know you a little bit. And you told me like 3 years ago you were working on this thing. So you've come a long way. It's a lot of work. So I can't wait to see the findings. I hope I get a sneak peek. Can I get a sneak peek?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, I think this information is so important. And for all of you school owners that are listening, you're starting to see how we're moving you now, and attending the FiLL exposes you to some of the work that we do on those other divisions, which is helping businesses become more profitable, become more growth driven, and also better execute and become more sustainable and scalable businesses. And so you're going to get that experience at the FiLL. And we are just about at time, so I want to be really respectful of it. And so I want to give you next steps on how to register. So you can scan this QR code to register directly. And we have some, I'm going to introduce our director, Marie. Many of you who work, who are existing Money EDU schools using our Money EDU curriculum probably recognize Marie's name. But Marie, we have some really exciting preferred pricing for both Lightheart Sanders customers, as well as, of course, our Qnity School of, or our Qnity School community using the program. So I'd love for you to speak to that.
Yes, we are at, first of all, it's nice to see everyone, those of you that I know, and then those that I'm hoping to meet in the near future. As for our preferred pricing, yes, please reach out to your account manager. We have preferred pricing for our existing schools right now, and we would love to extend that, and then also show you how we can go ahead and register. And if you have any questions, more than willing to help answer those at that time as well. For those of you that maybe are still looking for some additional information, or just to learn about our Money EDU program as well, I'm going to put my email and name in the chat box. So please feel free to reach out, and we can set up some time to connect.
Awesome. Well, with that, I am going to stop the share. Marie, if you also want to just put the FiLL link in the chat box so everybody can see it. And I am going to open it up for questions, but Tom, it looks like you've got something to say before I stop the recording and open it up for the group joining us for questions.
Just to be clear who it's for, it's really for, and Erin mentioned this at the beginning, owners, managers, directors, those in a leadership position. It's a great opportunity to send multiple members of your team. There's this aspect of getting away from the business. So we've seen people send large groups to this. Come on your own, come with 2, come with 3 people, whatever works for you, but this will hold for groups. The other thing is spread the word. I mean, if you have some other schools that you think would benefit, let us know. So maybe some of your peers might want to attend this. I know several of you on this call are influencers and got a lot of relationships, and it really takes a village to put something off like this. Again, one of the things that makes me the most excited is, having been in the beauty industry as long as I have, the opportunity for salons and schools to work together in this environment, I really haven't seen.
Mhm.
And that's the forum that we're creating here. So,
And I'd also encourage you, I know there's a lot of events, I get it, but at the same time, we are all biased on this conversation, but we like to believe it's one of the best ones. And so if you are considering it, I would encourage you to take the leap, no pun intended, and get yourself registered, because this is only once a year and the content does change every single year. And so come join us. We can't wait to have you. We also do have a special segment that we just welcome school owners for too, Marie, to kind of step away from the day-to-day, and we'll make sure you guys get a special call out and also can connect with other employers, which is also really important for so many of you. So thanks for those who have joined us.